with us are Samir Dalal as well as Kush Bora. Samir, the first question I'll come to you on Zen Technologies. If you've bought at levels of, if you bought actually at, I'm not even sure if this is the accurate number. Let's pull up the very long-term charts and see if Zen Technology ever trade at 150 rupees. Very long-term charts. I'm not even talking about right now, because you've got Yash who's saying that he's bought at that level and it's trading at nearly 1800 levels. Would you book right now?
Fortunately, we don't track this stock, so impossible for me to comment.
Okay. Kush, I'm going to come to you on the charts then. He's making tremendous gains. Not a very large quantum, but he's making substantial gains, right? Would you book?
Well, it did trade at 150 and lower prices, somewhere close to 2022, somewhere thereabouts. So kudos on, holding on. More importantly, more important than identifying is holding on to such stock. So kudos on that front. If he's been invested in, this stock for such a long time, I don't think he should consider booking profits just yet. This is more of a consolidation phase after the stellar and almost an unbelievable kind of a run that, you're looking at. However, I would like to give a positional stop, which is 1550. If that is broken, then the medium-term trend, perhaps for this one, could reverse. So as long as that level is held, you might want to consider, holding on to this one. Very rarely, I think, do you find such stocks where you make such multifold returns, and holding on to them is even more difficult. This is a passing phase, 1550. As long as that is held, continue to be in this one.
Apologies, Yash. I misread the number of shares that you have, and you're sitting on quite a bit of gains right now, and kudos to you, having picked up a stock at 150 and had the patience to hold on. And I think kudos to Yash for that.
Absolutely, that's 16 lakh of profits. That's quite interesting. I don't think he needs any of our advices then. But moving on, the next question is from Vaibhav, who is from Vadodara. I think a lot of people are watching me from my own city, Alex. And his question is, it's a generic one, which is that one stock to invest in for the next 5 years, and he wants to concentrated investing. So, Samir, I'll come to you for this one. 5 years is the horizon. Which stock would you pick?
So if he wants to pick only one stock, I would pick one from the banking space, and the one I would select is HDFC Bank. I'll tell you why. One, I get the safety of having one of the largest and the best managed companies within India. Two, we believe without banking, Indian economic growth is going to be very, very difficult. So banking will have to do well if you believe the Indian economy has to do well. Third, HDFC Bank's valuations have corrected significantly. So it used to historically trade at 4.5 times price to book. We're getting it about 2.2 times price to book, which is very attractive. The premiums that it used to, of course, have to some of the other players has disappeared. The fourth, I would like to say that, right now they're going through a transitional phase where they have some high cost deposits post the merger with HDFC Limited. And as they shift those high cost loans to the CASA deposits and term deposits, which are available at a cheaper rate, we will see the NIMs improve going forward. So on all parameters, we think HDFC Bank is that one single stock from a 5-year perspective. You can have growth in certain sectors, maybe slow down in some sectors, but banking will do well irrespective which sector is doing well eventually or not. So that would be my play.
Interesting. I also love the sound of the cuckoo clock behind you. So that marks the midpoint of the day. Let's talk about HDFC Bank though, because you've got Ayappan who's bought, or rather who's thinking of buying. He's identified that he wants to invest in this stock, but he's looking to invest 1 lakh of rupees for the next 3 to 5 years. And Samir says that's his pick. If there was one stock that you would pick in this market, that would be HDFC Bank. And so, Kush, at what level do you think it's the most attractive to deploy 1 lakh rupees?
So I think this is where technicals and fundamentals sort of marry, right? Not a bad idea. If I were to pick one from the banking space, HDFC Bank would be it. Not a bad idea to start accumulating around these levels. The typical congestion zone or the accumulation zone for HDFC Bank for a while has been around the 1650, 1700 mark, right? So if you do get, and right now it's trading just within that, just below the 1700 mark. So if you do get anywhere closer to the 1650 mark, not a bad idea to start accumulating. But for a stock like HDFC Bank, you might want to put it more on an SIP mode rather than go out and buy at one go. So yeah, not a bad idea to start accumulating HDFC Bank. Typical accumulation level 1650.
So it's not a bad idea to accumulate HDFC right now at this levels. Moving on, the next question is from Devinder, who's from Hyderabad. He's having 15 shares of Bharat Dynamics at 1250. He's asking whether it can go further low. Should I sell? Should I hold in the current market conditions? And he's a long-term investor. So Samir, your view on Bharat Dynamics? He's currently at a loss of around 4,000 rupees. Your view on Bharat Dynamics?
So let's first talk about the entire defense space, right? I think the defense opportunity in India is extremely large, and it's only going to keep growing given the fact that the spends from defense are going to increase, given the fact that India is upgrading, given the fact that there has to be certain amount of components made within India, even if we are buying equipment from overseas. So all of these throw up a huge opportunity. The problem we find with a lot of the defense counters, including a Bharat Dynamics for the time being, is the fact that valuations have moved up far more than what is feasible in the near term. Now, the stock has corrected, I won't deny, but even after the correction, I think the valuations are higher than what the historicals have, of course, been. That I'm not denying. I mean, that is probably could move up, but the fact is it's still above the comfortable levels that we would attribute. So for this person, I mean, given the fact that he's a long-term investor, I think hold on to what you have, but on further corrections, I think it can correct further closer to the 850 odd levels. If that happens, I think you need to add on some more and add on a significant amount so that your average comes much lower. And over the 5-year period, I think then you will make decent returns on your money.